Great news for all of you butt lovers out there. The NFL has officially not banned the tush push.
The tush push survives.
The tush push isn't going anywhere.
Guy-on-guy butt touching will still be allowed. Freedom does exist. Our country is great, and there is a God, and we're all gonna live forever! America, America, thank you for keeping butt touching in football. In order for the tush push to have been banned, the NFL needed 24 yes votes from team owners, and after a long meeting, the final vote was 22 in favor of banning it and 10 opposed, which means the vote fell short by 2, 22 to 10. Why does that sound familiar?
And the Eagles gonna beat the Packers 22-10.
Oh, right. That was the final score of the Packers' playoff loss to the Eagles. And the Packers were the team that proposed the ban. Did the Eagles' Twitter account post this photo immediately following the vote? Yes, it did. Did the Eagles' YouTube channel drop a 26-minute highlight video of tush pushes? Yes, it did. Philly was the perfect amount of petty in their victory. Today is a day for true football fans to rejoice. Look at this photo of Jalen Hurts. His face is literally resting on his center's ass. Let 2025 be known as the year that the NFL kept ATM alive in the league. So today I will tell you the real reason the tush push was saved and how Jeff Lurie used wet dreams to do it. That's actually real. The 10 teams who voted to keep the play, Gronk said something alarming about Aaron Hernandez, and we got a couple tweaks to the NFL rules. I'm Roger Perna, this is That's Good Sports. Please subscribe here. We're almost at 750,000 subscribers. I think 1,500 away. We can do it. Also, a great way to support this channel is by purchasing my coffee over at my coffee company, benchwarmershop.com. We've got the This Is Our Year blend, the F the Refs, both dark roasts, both delicious. If you use the subscription service at Benchwarmer Shop, that's the cheapest way to get coffee. And also, all of our Cursed Logo shirts, get them now if you liked last year's designs, because we're going to be getting rid of those and going to the new designs Rachel's been working on for our Cursed Logos. So, we got them. Now, before we get to the butt stuff, 3 notable things happened when the NFL's got together today. 1, the proposal to change playoff seeding based on record alone without regard to division winners was withdrawn. So it's not going to happen. 2, the NFL will allow its players to play in flag football in the Olympics in 2028. And that makes a ton of sense considering you won't be able to tell the difference between the NFL and flag football by 2028 at this rate. Onside kicks will also now be allowed again at any point within a football game if a team is trailing. That was another rule that got tweaked. The new kickoff formations don't allow for surprise onside kicks, which is it's big tragic flaw, but they have also moved the kicks to be 9 yards. So they'll start at the 34 instead of the 35-yard line and hoping that 1 yard less makes them more recoverable. Will that happen? I don't know. I do need to credit the NFL's best journalists, though, Will Compton and Taylor Lewan, for asking Rob Gronkowski if Aaron Hernandez jerked off in team meetings.
Him being in the team meeting room, like beating off and like doing crazy shit.
Turns out the psychopath did indeed shuck the corn.
Possibility, that one. I may or may have not seen it live.
Grease the goose.
I love crazy shit though. So like I didn't mind things like that. I was like, wow, like that was epic.
Flank the steak in team meetings.
Nothing fazed me. I was like, I encouraged it. But like,
God bless Gronk. He must be protected at all costs. Also, Hernandez getting turned on by watching game film might make him the biggest football guy ever. Bigger football guy than even murderer. Something O.J. Simpson could never say. The Buffalo Bills will be featured on Hard Knocks this season. They are the first team who was in the playoffs the previous season to get on the show, and now we await the over-under on 9/11 references by Sean McDermott. Personally, I'm taking the under. I think that's overplayed. But I'm smashing the higher on the Jonestown Massacre references. Talk about a bunch of people coming together for a common cause. Now, Jason Kelce may have very well saved the tush push. He flew to the owners' meetings and he joined Eagles owner Jeff Lurie to speak before the official vote. Lurie hit him with a Hollywood-produced PowerPoint showing that the play's actually safe, and then Jason Kelce came in, presumably in a mummer's costume, and gave the most impassioned speech since 2018.
He was put in the side of the building where I didn't see him for over a year.
Sadly, it was reported that Kelce was forced to show his tush in the meeting, requested by Jerry Jones so he could see his glory hole. Jerry, that's not what that means. But let's rewind for a second. You might recall a theory floated around that Jason Kelce retired because of the tush push, that it was ruining his body. In fact, it was Bills co-owner Terry Pagula who made that shit up at the last owners meeting. Now, Kelce denied that already on his podcast once, reaffirmed it today.
Some of the owners and coaches hinted that the reason I stopped playing was because of the tush push and that I got hurt on the tush push frequently.
What the f***?
And said he would unretire if the only play he had to block for was the tush push.
I'll come out of retirement today if you tell me all I got to do is run 80 tush pushes to play in the NFL.
In addition to that, Jason showed up at the vote today, presumably to speak in favor of keeping the tush push and clarify that false narrative. Now, we really need to credit Jeff Lurie for keeping this play alive. I think he and Jason Kelce giving their presentation plus lobbying all week prior is the real reason a few teams changed their minds last minute. Diana Rossini dropped some absolute gems about the closed-door meeting. This is a paragraph from her article on The Athletic. One high-ranking league source who was in the room said, Lurie was like a guy trying to convince his girlfriend why she shouldn't leave him. Something I think Belichick is going to ask for the game tape of. Lurie in the meeting also said the fact that his team came up with a play so unstoppable that the rest of the league had no other choice but to try and ban it was like a wet dream for a teenage boy. So we've got Hernandez jerking it in meetings, and now plays are getting banned because of wet dreams?
I encouraged it.
How's the NFL filthier than this show? Also, I don't think I understand the reference, Jeff. Banning the tush push is like a wet dream for a teenage boy? Are the other teams trying to wash the sheets so their mom doesn't see the horrific things happening to them at night? Regardless, great turn of phrase, and get your popcorn out, everybody, because Philly plays 13 teams this season that voted to ban the play. Now, I would like to genuinely thank the Green Bay Packers for submitting the rule proposal to ban the tush push. Not only is Brett Favre an embarrassment, now you are too. Your team is the face of cowardice. You tried to ruin something we all love, moderately like, simply because your quarterback's too drunk to do it himself. How about we stop allowing Jordan Love to take shots at Jim Beam in the huddle, huh? It doesn't matter that 21 other teams voted yes with you. This was your lame-ass rule that luckily failed to pass. And while I hate that you proposed it, Green Bay, I am grateful for you restoring my faith in American democracy. A big reason, though, that the tush push was almost banned is because Commissioner Roger Goodell wants it gone. And I have no idea why Goodell thinks this play needs to be banned, but it feels like he's going to spend the next year figuring out how to swing the final couple votes needed. A couple months ago, when this was the first voted on, it only had 16 yes votes, which means 6 teams changed their minds from the first owners meeting, which makes me wonder what threats were made to those 6 teams in the last month and a half to get them to change their vote. Because that's the only way you convince grown men in the world of football to do something that goes against every fiber of their being. Here's what has changed since then. They reworked the language of the rule, and had it passed, the NFL would have reverted to a rule that was in place prior to the 2005 season. The language was as such. No offensive player may push or pull a runner in any direction at any time or lift him to his feet. push or throw his body against a teammate to aid him in an attempt to obstruct an opponent, to recover a loose ball or assist the runner except by individually blocking opponents for him. This will now result in a 10-yard penalty. I feel like that would have been far worse than just banning the tush push itself. They tweaked a rule that would have affected other offensive plays, right? Cool plays. And my number one rule for the NFL is don't make rules that take away cool plays. Fewer cool plays is a bad thing for a sport. If the rule passed, all of these plays would be penalties that you're seeing right now, including this Packers touchdown. What scares me as a fan is the rule got closer to passing with a shittier design of how to enforce it. The reason 6 more teams voted in favor this time was specifically because of the verbiage changes, which means teams voting to ban the play were more worried about the optics of voting to ban a singular play versus voting to change a rule that would have even bigger ramifications on the game as a whole. That's ass backwards. We've gotten to a point in football where we're at a line, and if we cross it, we may never go back. Every normal-minded person watching wants the game to be as safe as possible. We can all agree on that. And honestly, I think the game is as safe as it can be. If the NFL keeps trying to tweak these types of things in the name of safety, they're gonna ruin the fucking game. That's the line they are crossing with rule changes like this. This is not an alteration in the rule book that actually makes the game safer. It's the first rule they would actually be implementing and changing in the name of safety that has zero evidence that this play is dangerous. It's a glorified quarterback sneak, and I honestly don't know how much pushing the quarterback actually helps this play. The NFL's leading medical guy or whatever said that the reason they want to ban this play is due to the possible future danger that could happen on this play. Isn't that any NFL play? Any play is potentially dangerous. That's why we love this shit. It's the thing that makes football great. It's inherently dangerous. It is violent. The players know that. They risk it. That's why football's better than the rest of those sports. Can't take that away. Now, Philly originally adopted this play because they felt it was safer than a traditional QB sneak. I believe that is irony in its purest form. Tom Brady had a 91% success rate on quarterback sneaks, and nobody ever touched his ass. And not just because he refused to wash down there. Normal quarterback sneaks have like an 85% success rate. Philly might have converted, one less per year if this had passed? It set up the most meaningless and dumbest debate we've ever had in the NFL. And what Nick Sirianni needs to focus on next is the 76-yard QB sneak. Get Jalen Hurts sprinting free like this and really fuck with opposing defenses.
Quarterback sneaks for 76 yards before winding down at the Packer 11.
Frankie Louvu, who I really love that dude, gave probably the worst reason to ban it on the NFL Network.
I mean, it's kind of like a cheat code play, man. You got Jordan Mailata on the right. You got, it's pretty much a scrum in rugby.
It's not a cheat code play. It is football. Honestly, I don't think the push even does much. Jalen Hurts can squat 700 pounds, and their success on this play is based on the way they block at the point of attack. It's the low leverage their O-line gets. That's the real problem.
The Eagles get like a quarter-second head start in momentum transfer.
And the NFL noticed teams were running about 200 more quarterback sneaks per year since 2016. You want to know why they're doing that? Because analytics, they realize this is a high success play, and quarterbacks are more athletic than ever, so it makes sense to run it. 2 lines of dudes run into each other and the ball carrier tries to gain yards. Guys, that's football. Did they bring out a hoop and ask Jalen Hurts to dunk over the line? Does the center get a baseball bat to pummel his opponents? Is the defense forced to wear ice skates and glittery tights? Then it looks like a football play to me. Rugby, it's rugby, it's rugby. It's a rugby scrum. No, it's actually not. And I, for one, would love to see a fucking rugby scrum implemented into the NFL. Rugby is cool as hell. Scrums should actually determine who gets the ball to start the game and after halftime. It's way better than a coin toss when you think about it. If the league finds a better reason to ban this play, they're gonna do it. If someone gets hurt on this play next year, it will get banned. The battle has been won, but I fear the war is not over. And if you look at the final line, the Packers' reasoning for submitting this, safety and pace of play. Pace of play? What are you talking about? The play is run within the normal parameters of the play clock. Pace of play? Submit a proposal for fewer TV timeouts and commercials if you want to fix the pace of play, Green Bay. But nobody's ever going to do that shit, are they? Also, a great way to support this channel is by purchasing my coffee over at My Coffee Company. For now, though, we need to acknowledge the 10 brave teams that said no to the commissioner. And yes to integrity, yes to freedom, yes to glory. The Eagles. Oh, it would have been funny if they voted to ban it and it still didn't get banned. The Ravens, the Lions, Jaguars, Patriots, Saints, Titans, Jets, Browns, and Dolphins all said no. Those are the only 10 teams that can enter the 2025 season with fucking dignity and self-respect. It's worth noting the Colts and Saints voted against banning it. And they are indeed led by former Eagles coaches Shane Steichen and Kellen Moore. That makes Jonathan Gannon a giant coward. The bigger the Sirianni coaching tree gets, the more likely the tush push stays. The NFL also added a new award for the NFL honor ceremony, Protector of the Year, which will go to the best offensive lineman in the league. And yes, Jason Kelce just won for protecting the tush push for one more year. Thank you guys. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video and whatever other shit I need you to do. We got to do all the shit to succeed on YouTube. Maybe you could all write a letter to Bob Iger, head of Disney and ESPN. Tell him to come get me. Come get me, Bobby!